Hi there, I'm back. We'll see how long I last. I don't know. But today I'm going to be sharing with you a list of things that I'm currently loving. As we've been starting our 4th grade year, we are starting week 3. And yeah, over the past 2 weeks, these things have been a blessing to me. So I thought I'd share them. Stay tuned for more. I know it has been a while. Life be lifing like that. I definitely cannot say I will be back more routinely, but I definitely will try to be more present here. It has just been a whirlwind. We, in March, moved into our new house in Alabama and then proceeded to go on several out-of-state trips that we had pre-planned before we moved. And summer was very short. If you asked my boys how they felt about summer, they were like, it was gone. Like, it's gone so fast, which I hate to break it to them, but that's life. So anyway, so just, it's been a lot trying to, get our house unpacked / decorated, all the things. And then we've also just, the trip's been gone quite a bit. So anyway, all that to say, well, there's a lot happening. And then with this being our 4th grade year, we are doing national park trips. And so we are gearing up to go on our first one of those trips as well. So anyway, digress. It has been crazy, but I will try. My goal is to share what we're doing this year, kind of like my chaotic setup that I have right now. And then like today, I have crazy hair that is regrowing. Yay. I have a list over here of things that I am loving this year, and they're in no particular order per se, but let's go ahead and get into it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I've been loving. All right, number 1, I'm gonna put it right here in front of my face. It is having a counter basket. So we do most of our schooling from our kitchen bar, which honestly I'm loving. My feet and legs are learning to, get used to not being lazy again. But anyway, it's been great working at the bar, but having this basket is wonderful just to kind of keep all the little knick-knack things that I like to use throughout the day. They're there and then they're out of the way when we're not doing school. Also because our cats are ridiculous and they like to tear things up. So if I put them in there, they can't get to them. But with that counter basket, you may have seen in there that there are stamps and stickers. And that's also kind of like a sidebar for our counter basket, is that we've introduced those this year. I asked the boy, I watched a TED Talk, or maybe it wasn't a TED Talk, maybe it was just, oh, it was a TED Talk, but this professor who put stickers on his college-aged adults on their work when they got a certain score, and how they would work super hard for that sticker and come and find him across campus if they didn't actually get the sticker that they deserved. So anyway, with that in mind, I asked the boys, would you prefer me to do something like that? And then if so, what would you like? And each of them, of course, picked something totally different. So Liam's he wanted stamps, and then Connor wanted the stickers. So that's why those are in the basket, and those are what I've been doing on most things. Sometimes if I'm grading, yes, I grade. If I'm grading something quickly, just to get it back real fast, I don't always put it on there. At least I haven't been that strict about it, but most things do get them. So yeah, that's number 1. Second thing is we have mini whiteboards, just a little, we got ours at Walmart. I probably could have gotten them for less on Amazon, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And we do have a big whiteboard that is downstairs, which was intended to be our classroom. And it's still kind of chaotic down there. I have projects I need to finish down there. I don't want to be reminded of them. So we do go down there for certain activities, but anyway, all that to say, the mini whiteboards have been awesome for working with our spelling, which we're also doing new this year. We did spelling in the past, but we reintroduced it this year. But it's been good for our Latin practice. It's been good for when we're doing our journal entries. I'll talk about that in a minute. When we're trying to like pull out keywords or phrasings, vocabulary, that kind of thing. Anyway, lots of great uses for that, and I use them every day. So yeah, that's our second thing, mini whiteboards. Thirdly, are rubrics. When I taught in the classroom, I use rubrics quite often, but I don't know why I never thought about using them here at our house when I'm grading things like journals or projects and things. And I'd gotten all their stuff done and ready for the start of the school year, and it dawned on me like, okay, well, I'm grading these things, but I hate subjective grading. And so this is one of the reasons why I appreciate having technology. As I was able to go into like chat and just say, hey, you know, here, this is what the project that I need a rubric for. Here are the things that I need to make sure that the rubric contains. And it went ahead and created a rubric for me. So I was able to utilize that. And now the boys have them in each of their journals. So here's an example of one in the geography. And then in some of their journals, their namely their science and their social studies, I even was able to make a checklist, which chat also did for me. And they can look at it before they turn in their stuff to verify, did I do this, did I do that? And it's been a great tool, and I think it will continue to be a great tool, especially, you know, as each child has different, you know, abilities and, you know, where they're at in the writing process and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be really helpful as we continue to work through things this year. So rubrics have been awesome, and they've made my life so much easier. And what I've been doing, so I got, these are the journals, which is actually our next deal we're gonna talk about. But when I'm grading their work, let me see if I can find one that doesn't have pictures on it or anything. But, all right, here we go. This is a good one. So this is his science notebook. And so when they do their writing and they do their retell of what we talked about, when I grade it, I just put it on a sticky note so that doesn't mess up with their journal, and they can choose if they want to keep it there or not. So anyway, that's been a great thing that I thought about like on the fly, because I didn't want to make marks in their notebook, if that makes sense. So, like, this is the rubric for this journal. And with that, our journals. So I went ahead and splurged this year and got some School Nest notebooks from Miss Megan. And we purchased a science one for each of them. There, we got one for history, which is like a orangey red, like a rusty color. And then they've got these geography notebooks. I think that's it. But they have been great. Let me see if I can open up the geography one. Let me try to find a blank one so you can see. There you go, Massachusetts. So there's the inside. This is the one you get off of the her Amazon storefront. She also has her own personal website that they're a little bit different on. But the side, if you can see it, they've got little white boxes that we'll use for different things. And then the page after is just gridded blank paper. But we've been using them. Let's see. One that we've finished. We've done 3 states, but we've finished Tennessee. So we'll go here. So here you are. We use each box for something different. We've done a map, and then we went through the state, like the visitor's guide. And the boys printed off and cut out things they thought were interesting. So yeah, that's that. And on that same note, I made us planners this year, which have been amazingly helpful, especially for me with like my planning. I normally have to rewrite everything, or I feel like I do, and this time I just printed it, and it's been great. I can just go through and check. The grade book is in the back. There's a blank one so you can see it. There you go. And then I have other things in here as well, such as our schedule, our catechisms are in here. So I can just read them off when we're practicing those each morning. There's calendars, like our school calendar is in here. I've made a reading log for myself, which I haven't done any reading yet. And then the boys each have their own planner. They can check things off each day as a spot to write in what they think about their reading and all that thing. So it's good for all of us. The fifth thing is we have a journal. This is our Bible journal. It goes along with our Bible reading we're doing this year, which is, I'm going to get it out. I'll put it right here, but it's going over the book of this book of Psalms, and it breaks down each day. And then there's a journal activity, which is really cool because I didn't realize that. I didn't look that deep into it whenever I was planning it. And I just felt like, you know what, it'd be really good for us to do some journaling this year with our Bible time. And then we also, for right now, these are the scriptures that we're memorizing. I'll get that later. And so those are in there. And then each day I write the psalm and then whatever the journal entry is for the day. But yeah, so I bought this journal with the intention of utilizing it somehow with our Bible reading. And then we read day 1 together, and I was like, get a journal. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love that it worked out. So anyway, this has been great. And it just sits up here on the counter. And so we see it all the time. And the idea is that it will grow into whatever it grows into. So there you go. And then the final thing I was going to share is that's been working really great is working on memorization. So I've known the importance of memorizing, and but always, even personally, struggle with how to do it and do it well. So this year we're just doing it, and so I don't know if we're doing it well or not, but we're doing it. And so what we do each morning, and I'll go through, I think I'll do another video on our schedule and kind of how we're getting things done. But we do our memorization review in the morning. And so we basically just repeat the verses a few times. So we have 3 verses. One verse is for our term. And it kind of goes along with what we're talking about, namely in social studies. And then our second verse is actually our school verse, slash family verse. It's 2 Corinthians 2:14. We've talked about it over and over, year after year, but we've never actually memorized it. So we're doing that this year. And then we recently started going to a church here, and they had a verse they wanted the kids to memorize. And so Liam wrote it out and put it in here so they could practice that too. So that's what's in this. So we'll practice this. We have Latin flashcards in our basket. That's what I'm pointing to right now, which it's not perfect, y'all. We're doing Latin second time around this year, and I was doing flashcards, not great last year, and I would take them out, the ones that we knew, and now I can't find those. So hopefully we find those. But seriously, I'll go through the flashcards, and then I'll grab one of the boys' books and use those lists, and that's how we've been doing it. It's not pretty, it's not perfect, but it gets done. And I show them, or I tell them the word, they tell me what it is in English, or vice versa, and then we do our conjugating and that kind of stuff. And then I have a thing of math flashcards, and we will do a competition between the two where, if they say the product at the same time, no one gets the points. Whoever's first gets the points. It's the first to 10. Right now, there's one that typically wins, but I'm hoping, we don't just do that. They also have no ma'am, I was trying to get on the counter. We have the wrap-ups where they review their facts. And so if it's the kids' week, then they'll get the multiplication one. If it's not your week, you get the division one. And I give them the same factor, but it's just a different direction of thinking. That makes sense? So we do that. We have our catechisms. We are currently, I think, through 45. We're learning 40 to 45, if I remember right, which is just a review from last year. And so For the first week or two, we just kind of went through last year's to make sure that they were concrete in their brain. And then now we're working on adding 5 more. And the goal is to add 5 more each week to 2 weeks. So that's what we're doing for our catechisms. And then, and then we're also focusing on something that's social studies related. So we are doing U.S. presidents. And I purchased just a set of placemats off of Amazon. It came, I think it was like 6 of them, like periodic table. I want to say it had a US map and a world map, and it had the planets. I don't remember. I think there were 6 of them, but they're great quality. And the idea was, again, they're not like aesthetically pleasing or anything in my kitchen, but the boys are memorizing the US presidents, which is more than I've ever done. And the way we're attacking this, this is the current one. Once we get these down, then we'll move on to something else. The idea is every odd term, we will start memorizing something new. The Bill of Rights, we worked on that last year, but didn't actually finish it. So that's something we want to do. Books of the Bible, different things that I just think we just need to know. But for right now, we're doing presidents. We are up to James Buchanan, and we go ahead and throw Abraham Lincoln in there too, because he's one of the boys' favorites. But we did 10, and we did the 10. We kind of created like a rhythm, if you will, and just say their names in that rhythm. And then last week we added 11 through 15/16, and we will probably do that again this week, and then next week we will add the next, and kind of just work it our way. That's the way we're doing it anyway. If you have tips for teaching things through memorization, I would love to hear them. I was just when I was younger and having to memorize things for school, I just did it. Like I just had a flashcard, I'd read it, and that's how I would do it. Or like reciting it over and over again, or funny voices, things like that. So that's what we're doing. And it's been going really well. They're getting them, and they're actually memorizing them, which is great. I think that's all of them for now. But it's also just a very fluid thing. It'll change, I'm sure, as the year goes on. But yeah, I think it's great. And, if the kids can recall things quickly, then that is even better for them. Because here I am, still struggling with a lot of things. Anywho, that's it. That's my list of 6 things. Like I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on memorization and like tips that you use, or like also just in general, like what are some things you're enjoying, or maybe like the thing that makes your day so much easier. I would love to hear. So that's all I have. And my children should be up by now, so we can start our school day. So I'm gonna go get them up, get breakfast going, and we're gonna start our day. So anyway, I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.